Elon Musk and Donald Trump, a dynamic duo against government corruption. Elon Musk and former President Donald Trump have become two of the most polarizing figures in modern America, largely because they challenge the entrenched corruption within the U.S. government. While many see them as disruptors, their real battle is against the deeply rooted system of lobbying, judicial bias, and political favoritism that has allowed corporate and foreign interests to control Washington. Their enemies are numerous because they threaten the power structure that has enabled generations of politicians and judges to sell out the American people for personal and financial gain. The deep-rooted corruption of U.S. leaders. One of the biggest threats to democracy in the United States is the legalized form of bribery known as lobbying. Politicians, once elected, often abandon the interests of their constituents in favor of corporate donors and special interest groups. The most notorious among them is the Israeli lobby, which has exerted outsized influence on U.S. foreign policy, ensuring unwavering support for Israel regardless of the consequences for American interests. Similarly, pharmaceutical companies, defense contractors, and Wall Street firms pour billions into political campaigns and super PACs, essentially purchasing policy decisions that benefit their bottom lines rather than the public good. For example, in 2022 alone, lobbying expenditures in the U.S. exceeded $4 billion, with industries such as healthcare, finance, and technology leading the charge. Pharmaceutical companies, particularly giants like Pfizer and Moderna, spend millions influencing lawmakers to shape regulations in their favor, often at the expense of affordable healthcare and consumer rights. Meanwhile, defense contractors like Lockheed Martin and Raytheon ensure that America remains entangled in endless wars, as military spending continues to skyrocket year after year. The judiciary, a tool for political repression. The corruption extends beyond politicians to the judicial system, where many judges act as political operatives rather than impartial arbiters of the law. Federal judges and Supreme Court justices are often selected based on their ideological loyalties rather than their commitment to justice. The appointment process is deeply political, with major corporations and foreign lobbies playing an outsized role in influencing judicial decisions. This has led to a system where politically motivated cases are pursued against figures like Donald Trump, while real corruption and criminal behavior among the political elite are ignored or covered up. One of the most glaring examples of judicial corruption is the treatment of whistleblowers like Edward Snowden and Julian Assange. While these individuals exposed illegal government surveillance and war crimes, they were persecuted and labeled as criminals, whereas those who committed the crimes they exposed continue to operate with impunity. The selective application of the law demonstrates that justice in America is often determined by political convenience rather than legal principle. Musk and Trump, enemies of the establishment. Elon Musk and Donald Trump have disrupted this corrupt system in different but complementary ways. Trump, as a political outsider, exposed the hypocrisy of Washington by directly confronting both Republicans and Democrats who are complicit in the system. His presidency revealed the deep state's resistance to anyone who challenges its authority. Musk, on the other hand, has used his influence in the tech world to combat censorship, expose government overreach, and disrupt industries monopolized by corrupt elites. Musk's purchase of Twitter, now X, was a direct attack on the media establishment and the political elites who rely on censorship to control narratives. By exposing how the FBI and intelligence agencies pressured social media platforms to silence dissenting voices, Musk has revealed a new dimension of corruption in which unelected bureaucrats manipulate public discourse to serve their own interests. Trump, meanwhile, has been the target of relentless legal and political attacks precisely because he threatens the system that enriches the ruling class. The multiple indictments and investigations against him are not about justice, but about neutralizing a political threat. Meanwhile, career politicians like Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi, whose families have profited from insider deals with foreign governments, face little scrutiny from the same legal system that aggressively pursues Trump. The path forward. The corruption that Musk and Trump have exposed will not disappear overnight, but their actions have ignited a growing awareness among the American public. More people are beginning to question the legitimacy of a government that prioritizes corporate donors over voters, that jails whistleblowers while protecting criminals in high office, and that punishes those who challenge the establishment. If success is measured by the number of enemies one makes, then Musk and Trump are undoubtedly among the most successful individuals in America today. Their willingness to challenge the status quo has made them the targets of relentless attacks, but it has also positioned them as the last line of defense against a government that has long abandoned the principles of democracy and justice. The fight against corruption is far from over, but thanks to figures like Musk and Trump, the American people are beginning to see the truth.